Hello and welcome back to Drift. In the last episode we had started up a new playthrough and just kind of got the basis of our craft and our inventory management and just basically the bare bones of the game. And so now we are going to push on forward and continue on and try to advance a little bit. So we are on day 4, orbiting an unknown planet as always. And we are going to be, our goal for today is to unlock some technology. We're still floating around using our RCS. We're still having to grab asteroids with our hands. And there's a much better way to live. So that's going to be our goal today. First off, let's see what I have. Crush some carbonite. I'm going to make some oxygen. We're going to use all 3. This one was already making oxygen. Same with that one. But today we are going to be in search of some advanced materials that we can find through floating wreckages whenever they appear. We don't have any icons on our map at the moment. And so just taking a peek through the vastness of space to see if we can see anything. But we can't. It's very important in the early game to keep on these advanced materials because as you see we have an upgrade that we can unlock, a technological upgrade, and that is so we can build our own advanced materials. But in order to do that we need to have some to begin with. We need to feed in some advanced materials, some advanced steel and some microprocessors. We have to feed that into the machine, and in order to do that we have to go out and find them. So now I'm just gonna collect some resources real fast and we're gonna speed up the footage for that. There's going to be some times where I just need to go and collect as much resources as I can just to kind of build a stockpile of them. In games like this, it's good to just take a moment when you can, especially early on, and just get everything, even if you're working with lessened ability because you're just fresh and new. I used to play a lot of survival crafting games. I mean, I still do to an extent, and so there's certain aspects to the game that will kind of always be the same. That's why you see me stocking up on oxygen supplies here. And so we don't have to worry about those for a very long time. And silicon wafers are going to be very important pretty soon, so while we have the ability to just kind of make a few things to clear up some space, we're going to. So now I'm looking at what it takes to make the tractor beam and the propulsion system, and it's the same amount. It's the same thing in different amounts to make both, and so we're going to be able to do that very soon. So yep, the only thing we're waiting on is the iron plates. We just made a bunch of the chips. This asteroid just bounced around. We're gonna get some walls here pretty soon, so keep asteroids out of our face. Make ourselves a little bit of a home, and it's gonna be nice. I'm running low on oxygen, so I need to remember that. In the later game, you can unlock an oxygen generator for your home base, and as long as you have walls and created a room of sorts, you can breathe freely. It's very nice. The game developers have included quite a lot of stuff to do, even though it's an early alpha, and they have a lot of plans for future updates and a lot of the stuff that they're planning for. So I'm pretty cool. So there we go. Just making the tractor beam now. And we have successfully did it, so now we just need to switch over to the propulsion system and put in the iron plates, and we just take back everything else that we didn't use, just to make sure it doesn't make two of them. We don't need two of them at the moment. There we go. We've got propulsion. We can utilize batteries now instead of our oxygen. And we have a tractor beam which can be used to pull small asteroids towards us. So check this out. We press T. We focus on one out there in the distance. And here it comes. Yeah, so this is the next, I would say the next era of the game. And I would just call this, you know, the early game. Beginning stages. I don't know what you call it. Just, you know, the start of the game, really. Everything before that was kind of training wheels, get you going in the right position. But now that we have a tractor beam, we're officially in the whole of drift. Because nobody likes using oxygen for their propulsion. So now I'm just gonna do a little bit of organization. And now before I can use the propulsion system, I'm going to need to make a battery pack. And for that, I'm going to need 4 simple batteries. So we are going to gather the materials for that right now. As you see here, it's iron plates, copper wiring, and 4 batteries. So we're going to crush up some carbonate, because that is one of the ingredients for the batteries. Carbonate, water, iron plates, and copper wiring. And once again, I'm running low on oxygen. We'll see how long it takes me to realize that. That's one of the downsides of abusing the fact that there's no hunger mechanic at the moment, is because the hunger mechanic, when you're starving, you get the little vignette around the edge of the screen, and so you kind of grow used to it. But then when you're running low on oxygen, there's nothing that really stands out about your situation that tells you need to breathe. So there we go. Stupid little death there, just standing at the crafting machine, just forgetting to fill my pack with oxygen. I'm gonna grab this little asteroid that's floating here. Grab the 4th battery. Grab some more copper wiring. And let's go ahead and build this thing. So there we go. It instantly takes the materials and leaves behind the leftovers. So we're going to go ahead and just put those away. I don't really remember why, but I just kind of felt like grabbing some asteroids, utilizing this tractor beam. It is kind of fun, just lassoing them in, especially when you get them from very far away, or like that one where it was on a fast trajectory towards one direction, and then you wrangle it over to you. Like that one as well. Oh, and now we're full. And I'm trying to crush this, but I remembered I didn't have any room for that. And rather than putting it away for some reason, I decided to just throw away this little crushed sulfur. Very wasteful. I mean, it's one crushed sulfur amidst many, but still. And here we go. I had kind of forgotten about the battery pack. And then now that it is equipped, I can just use small batteries to charge it. And now our propulsion system is complete. So no longer are we reliant on our oxygen, on these carbon filters. We're still going to use carbon filters, but that's just going to replenish our oxygen solely. Now just making a little bit more storage. Seeing if I can replicate that bug that flipped it into the ground, but it didn't quite work out that way. Now, I'm going to need some storage for all these batteries that I am going to be making. So I designated these little boxes yellow. That's a nice color to signify energy in my mind. So now, check this out. Oh, well, I sped up time. I didn't quite think ahead to showcase the fact that we now have a propulsion system, but we'll see it here soon enough. And as you can see, well, speeding up again, but you can see a little bit of the propulsion power that we have now is much stronger than when we were using our RCS thrusters. But of course, we're chasing down some a faint signal, so needed to speed up time for that a little bit. There we go. Nice little grab there. Then we see another faint signal along the way. So now that we've got batteries and we're not in danger of dying of oxygen deprivation, we decide to head towards that. And here we are. And here's where we encounter a small little bug. So as you see here, I select the asteroid and then I crush it while I'm closing the tab, and the items are just pouring up into my inventory. All that carbonite. I don't know how it happened. I don't know how to replicate it, but there it is. As with any alpha game, this is there are some bugs that are bound to happen, but overall it's nothing game breaking, so it's nothing to really be concerned about. So once I use up that battery and I get rid of those two asteroids, my inventory again continues to fill with carbonite. So then I go to this other faint signal wreckage, and I already had some microprocessors and steel on me, so I could just click those in, and then when I added the battery and replaced the carbonite, the glitch stopped. So I don't know, just there's that. So you know, if there's any exploiters out there that want to figure out how to make a glitch out of that, be my guest, but it's probably going to get patched if it's even a thing at all, or if it's just kind of a one-off bug, because that happens as well. There is a Discord, and the developers are very active in addressing problems and figuring out solutions with the community, and so pretty sure that any kind of issue will be resolved. So here we go. We've got enough to make the advanced materials. We salvaged enough wreckages to find microprocessors and steel, and so now once we unlock that node, we'll be able to craft both of those ourselves. So going forward, we're going to be able to make that instead of having to chase down those floating wreckages. That's why it's very important in the early game to just keep on those and just go after them when you can, because it was a bug in the early games, in the early builds of this, where if you didn't grab the first couple ones, the signals would disappear, and it doesn't happen anymore. There's been an update on that one as well, but it's still a worry sometimes. You just, you don't want to miss the boat on that. So I'm glad that we utilized our time well enough. That's a fun thing I like to do here, is kind of like a fishing aspect, where you just stand at the side of your craft and see what you can beam up. In our case, just a bunch of carbonite and silicon. Now this one I can afford just as soon as I get myself, as soon as I come back here and collect enough of the resources that I need. I grabbed iron, but I needed copper instead. Here you go. Now I can start building on the ship structure. And both of these are within my grasp now, because we've stocked up enough silicon chips and steel. And those are the two time intensive resources to make. There, all we're gonna need is some batteries. And I was hoping to have some batteries already in here, but apparently it had run out of resources a while ago, so it just stopped. But once we have those, we'll be able to get that technological advancement. And there we go. So now our ship is going to have a beacon attached to it, and we're going to also be able to make beacons. So once we start exploring out into the cosmos, drifting out into the asteroid fields, we'll be able to navigate our way either back home or out to distant locations, points of interest, that sort of thing. Because this game is much larger than what we've been seeing so far. I've been keeping fairly close to home. You know, I've just been collecting the small asteroids in my local vicinity. And from that, I've been able to build all these things. This empire from stones. But there are larger asteroids out there to mine for much more resources. And there are asteroids that have caves in them to explore, and different biomes to find yourself in, and many, many kilometers away from your base to travel. We're not quite there yet. We are working our way there. One can find themselves out there and wander off much sooner than we have been, but let's take it one step at a time. And this step right here is just unlocking all the technology that will make that travel much more suitable. The technology that we're unlocking is for the tractor beam power, an upgraded tractor beam pull, as well as a safety bypass upgrade. And with both of those, we will be able to point at those larger asteroids that are floating out there, not the small ones that we collect resources, but the big ones. And we will be able to hurtle ourselves, use those to slingshot ourselves through space. Meaning that we're not going to have to use our propulsion to keep flying forward. We can just kind of use our momentum and drift. It's going to be fun. But we're just going to be unlocking those technologies for right now. We're not quite situated to the point where we're going to be utilizing that. Now that I have a bunch of resources, I'm just going to kind of utilize them to make a bunch of steel. That'll be useful fairly soon. And the microprocessors as well. Sometimes an asteroid will just drift by you and just gives you the feeling that you want to just wrangle it. Now we're looking for resources. And once again, I'm not paying attention to my hunger. That is something that I will be addressing in one of the future episodes, and I will be better about managing my hunger to keep that vignetted screen away. Because you don't really notice it while playing, it's not too much of a bother, but it is all I can look at right now in doing this recording. So there you go. This machine is probably always going to be doing batteries. That one at the far end. It's a good idea just to have a constant flow of batteries, at least until you get the upgraded batteries type. But that is down the line. I'm been very happy. I played this for quite some time on my own. I had my own sprawling base. It wasn't really sprawling, actually. It was just very heavily compacted. But there's some nice decorative things to put in places and architectural bits, and so for the time being, my place is going to be very utilitarian, but soon enough we'll be decorating it and putting walls and doors and windows. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Look at that, 4 batteries. 4 batteries can take you a long way. There we go. Now we got, glad that I had boxes already prepared for those. And here we are. We can research both of them. So yeah, so the multi-tool increases the power generation and the range of the pull and the pull speed, and safety off lets us fling our way through space without a care in the world, at the cost of smashing into an asteroid. So If you smash into an asteroid, there will be consequences. That's our only care in the world. That's the only thing that we need to fear besides fear itself is smacking into asteroids. There we are, we're crushing an item straight from the container. It's always a nice feature. You don't have to take the item out of the container to utilize it. You can just do it very, very efficient. Appreciate that. Once again, letting my oxygen drift dangerously low. And this early on, there's a lot of running back and forth between things. That's why I like to make sure that all these crafting benches, workshop items, and my storage area are all in the very close proximity to each other. Maybe later when, much down the line when we're in the end game and everything, I'll redesign the base and have particular rooms for certain things. I don't know. I kind of like the way that it ends up looking so far. But who knows? There is an update on the horizon. No word yet on when it's going to come out, but that will potentially allow us to build bases off-site on out in the distant void, so we can find a cool little biome. Oh, here, researching safety off. But yeah, so we can find a cool little biome and go make a little summer house out there. I think that'd be very cool. Looking very much looking forward to that. But here we are, just time warping our way through the unlocking process. None of these things really take too long to unlock, so that's kind of nice. But there we are. And our next set of unlocks require crystals, and that is the next step in our evolution, but we are not quite there yet. So here I am looking at nutrient paste and deciding to make it. So we will now be eating. We'll at least have the food. We'll have the option to eat, but for now, until we find alien creatures, nutrient paste is our only option. So with that, let's go ahead and chow down on this and clear that screen from our view. Grab ourselves a little asteroid, show off what we unlocked. And then let's take a look at our base. And I think that's where I'm going to leave today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're looking forward to more Drift. If you are, please consider giving me a like. Drop me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. And I will see you all in the next one. Take care.